Ayan guys, isang malaking awesome and thank you so much sa mga nandito agad guys. Maraming salamat sa mga patuloy na sumusuporta sa Oso the Chismoso, and of course, thank you so much kay Papa G, kay Yahweh. Maraming salamat sa mga patuloy na sumusuporta. Of course, yan yung mga una-unang nagchat-chat sa inyo guys. Please wag niyo kakalimutan mag-like, mag-share, subscribe. Of course, priority, big shoutouts kay Lila Eggsy yan. Mga matatagal na nandito. Big shoutouts kay Rafael, kay Papel na Durog, and of course kay Box. Big shoutouts sa mga bago dito sa ating channel. Please wag niyong kakalimutan mag-like, mag-share, mag-subscribe, at i-type number 3. And of course, mag-type kayo ng awesome kung hindi naman kayo tinatamad. No? Big shoutouts kay Euro. And ako nga pala si Oso Bear. I've been here since 2017 guys, and I've been losing until we win. Okay, since 2021 sineshare ko na sa inyo yung mga videos na to. Okay, so marami tayong mga prediction, tama. Tapos ngayon guys, aaminin ko sa inyo, nagkamali ako. Okay, bakit naman hindi ako magkakamali guys? Gera yun, hindi na natin yung mahahawakan. No? Hindi ko hawak sa leeg yung desisyon kung kailan magpapaulan ng gera, magpapaulan ng ng missiles. Hindi ko alam yon guys. Okay, wala tayong trigger doon. Pero wala tayong insider din doon. So, bagkus, ang nangyayari is we cannot really predict. So guys, kung di pa kayo nakasubscribe, mag-subscribe na kayo guys. Mag-share, of course. I-hit yun na yun yung like button natin, ha? Yan. So, big shoutouts kay JM. Okay, guys. Let's analyze the market, and this is my prediction, guys. This is our brand new prediction after a market capitulation. So, we already finally broke down, and usually when we always see a weakening moving average 50 here, what happens, no? So we're just looking at the perspective ng technical analysis. Okay, this is the technical analysis perspective. So we have the white line, meron tayong orange line. So ano ibig sabihin na to guys? I'm presumably assuming, okay, probably most of the time we're not correct. Okay, pero kung tama tayo, it will be our best buying opportunity. Okay? Bago pa lang po. Big shoutouts kay Jess. Salamat sa inyo guys. Okay. Yan, thank you so much kay Mang Pepe. Okay, so ano yung sinasabi ko dun sa thumbnail? So ito yon actually. So kung titingnan nyo, okay. Ayan. So kahit makita nyo kung anong anong indicator to, kahit puntahan niyo yung indicator na yan, inedit ko na to sa PineScript. So, pwede kasi siya i-edit. So, ngayon guys, dalawang indicator to na nag-help sa akin para alamin kung magpo-push down pa yung market. Okay, so according to this one, okay, humina yung volume natin, humina yung money flow natin, tapos nasakal tayo sa red line. We've been predicting this part. Okay, sinabi ko to sa inyo na wag tayong masa-stop out dito. Kung totoong aangat tayo, dapat umangat na siya. Okay, ito yung sinasabi ko guys. Ito, meron tayong tinatawag na reddish-ish na orangey na line. Okay, so ang nangyari is hindi natin siya nabutas hindi siya umangat. So kung pagtatapatin ko yung 0 to 0, ang nangyayari is, okay, it just reveals a lot more sense, okay, why the market is really going down. Okay, so ngayon, kung makikita nyo, okay, sorry kung may mga ads yung video natin ha, pasensya na guys. Kahit i-off ko yan, ganyan talaga Okay, so ito nga yung sinasabi ko guys. Hindi siya hindi siya strong. Kumbaga, ito dito nalinlang tayo pero biglang tumiklop siya ng June 10. Okay? So what happened there? Okay, hindi ko alam. Okay, sadyang hindi to true volume, hindi to true liquidity, hindi ko masasabing tong confidence buy ng market. Okay, but usually when we do and when we does, okay, is we always see a market capitulation. So makikita nyo, hindi siya tayo umangat man lang. Okay, nandito tayo sa red line. Ang nangyayari is, okay, ito yung red confirmation natin saying that there's a hidden bearishness. Tapos may makikita tayong dito, comet Okay? So, itong comment natin na to is signifying, okay, ito yung most unanticipated. Okay, pag sinabi natin unanticipated is hindi nila ine-expecto, unexpected moves to in the market. Okay? Then followed by a super bull market situation, which is netong April lang din to, which is I was able to predict because of this simple reading lang ng ating edited indicators on sa coding. So ngayon, in-adjust lang natin siya na in-adjust sa way na may intindihan ko at mas makapag-aggressive move ako. Ngayon guys, tulad ng sinabi ko sa inyo, babantaan ko kayo, sasabihan ko kayo, okay, na nag-print na siya. Okay, definitely nag-print na rin siya dito, 'di ba? Nag-print na siya. I cannot just like say, okay, yun na yun. Okay, it needs to close at least 2 more days. Okay, meron pa tayo isa, meron pa tayong pangalawa para masabi natin na talagang tutuloy pa to. Okay, so ito lang ang ayaw nating mangyayari is magtatagal siya dito. Okay, kasi pag nagtagal ang price, ang ating volume dito, it means maraming kumikita sa short. Okay, gusto nila yung volume na ganito, yung bumabagsak yung volume. It means malaki yung chances na natin na makapag-play out ng shorts sa altcoin shorts. Okay, so when we say altcoin shorts, yung mga position ng mga altcoins na sikat when it comes to like a market capitulation moves. Sabihin natin ito, this is pre-market capitulation. Sabihin natin, ngayon pa lang, nagsisimula pa lang to. Ngayon pa lang ulit tayo nakakita ng negative news na sinasabi ng mga tao na, oh, ito na naman, we're going down. Okay, after like how many days of bullishness. Okay, so nung back in May 11, okay, pinakita ko rin to sa inyo. Okay, na ito May 11. Tama, dito May 11. Okay, so ito yung sinabi ko naman sa inyo na potentially we are nearing the top, pero I'm not gonna TP but rather just look for another entry. Okay, so nangyari nga siya, no? Hindi ako nag-TP, hindi tayo nagano, so we're just like looking for another entry. Kita din yun sa mga documents natin na wala akong intention na mag-TP, wala din ako intention na mag-liquidate ng buong assets. So ito na yung sinasabi ko sa inyo guys. Okay, balik tayo doon sa pinaka-chart natin. Okay, so kung titingnan nyo to, yan. Dito nagpakita yung totoong price natin kasi nakita nyo to. Okay, so ibig sabihin hindi to totoo itong area na to. Okay, so mas more reliable tong area na to kasi na-prove siya ng wicks at ng body closes na hindi sumagad sa itaas nito. Kaya tayo napigilan dyan. So, dito ko nako-conclude na yung mga alts din natin more likely to really crash because of this kind of move from Bitcoin. Okay. So why? It's because, okay, the Bitcoin dominance is also telling us the same story. Yan, big shoutouts kay Jules. Okay. So kahit pumunta tayo sa XRP, ganun din siya. So Sir Oso, yung prediction mo dito, hindi din siya tama. Ibig sabihin, you're saying na mag-dump pa tayo sa XRP kasi may prediction ka. Wait lang. May prediction ka dito na sinasabi mo. Okay. We should be going up already. Ito yung point ko dyan. Hindi naman siya accurately on that day magpapump na siya. This is just like kumbaga, yung perspective ko kung ano yung mangyayari sa XRP in terms of long term kasi nasa 3-day time frame tayo. Imposible naman na ma-predict natin siya. So, ibig sabihin na ito, I'm just saying na kahit bumagsak to, the potential move of XRP to go up here, okay, is highly plausible or possible to happen. Okay, at inexplain ko yan ng pagkahaba-haba tapos tatapatan mo lang ng Sir Oso mali ka. So inexplain ko siya dito. Okay, so ngayon ito yung sinasabi natin. So i-play natin, okay, ngayon bumabagsak na siya, 'di ba? So hindi ibig sabihin na to guys, okay, na ibig sabihin niya na parang okay, aangat na tayo dito pa lang kasi muntik ka nang tumama, Sir Oso eh. Oo, ako din. Kala ko din tatama na ako eh. Konting-konti na lang. So, hindi pa siya tumuloy. Sabi ko, parang more likely parang kung strong yung magiging move na to, sabihin natin strong pa rin yung market yung sa XRP natin ha. Kunyari lang na to, yung sa Ripple XRP natin. Kung totoong we're just correcting the previous year, okay? Kasi dapat hindi, kumbaga ito hindi dapat nangyari to. So ang ginawa niya is kinorek niya ng kinorek. We might probably trying to look for the next bottom, okay? For XRP. Dalawa lang yan. Ang mangyayari is if the XRP is a little bit higher than the previous, sabihin natin yung low niya is higher, okay, malaki yung chances na masunod yung chart ko. Okay, then 80% tingin ko babagsak muna tayo dito sa moving average na to, sa ilalim na itong moving average na to. Pag nasa ilalim na tayo ng moving average na to, mas malaki yung chances natin na mas masunod yung pinaka higher levels ng XRP. Okay, which is sabihin natin, okay, give or take, sabihin natin, Sir Osa, so sinasabi mo malaki yung chances natin na mag $100. Yes, definitely yes. Lalo na kung, okay, kung matupad tong unang news natin, which is mamaya explain ko sa inyo itong US Senate schedules final Genius stablecoin bill for June 17. Okay, ito yung red carpet na sinasabi ko sa inyo dati pa sa 2021. Okay, unang videos ko pati mga live ko about XRP, na ang magiging red carpet natin for XRP is XRPL. And ano ang XRPL? It's the stable coin of XRP. So we are, okay, putting a red carpet, okay, para i-welcome at i-unlock, okay, i-unlock yung magiging currency support, okay, or the US dollar cryptocurrency version ng US dollar. So medyo nabubulol ako ngayon. So ito nga yung sinasabi ko, how I would be able to explain you guys this one. Okay, so pinakamadaling way ko na naintindihan to kasi medyo mahaba to guys, okay, but the US stablecoin lawmakers set for history Genius Act vote. So nung last video natin in-explain ko na rin to sa inyo. In-explain ko sa inyo why the XRP, okay, is going to participate in the bull run really good on this one, but not to the point where we will be able to see XRP in $300, $100. Okay, so what I'm seeing is the XRP has a really good potential in terms of grabbing a lot of trillions of dollars from different markets. Ano yung different markets na to? We can see gold, we can see silver, we can see mainly the banks. Number 4 is yung bonds natin. Okay, number 5 is yung M2. Pwede tayong humigop ng supply mula sa stocks. Okay, especially if we're talking about RWA tokenization. Okay, that is very important for us to really understand. Okay, which I've been explaining it to you guys. Okay, lalo na yung mga transactional companies, sabihin natin Swift, PayPal, etc. Since PayPal has their own USD stablecoin, 'di ba? That should actually really tell you something about, okay, why? It's because BlackRock is also talking about the tokenization and also looking into having a high potential yield prediction sa mga stablecoins. Hindi lang basta Ethereum, okay, stake kay Ethereum, malaki yung makukuha niya Ethereum, something like that. Okay, hindi na ganon yung situation. So wait lang guys ha, may titingnan lang ako dito. Wait lang ha, chat ko yung asawa ko eh. Okay, so ito na nga yung sinasabi ko. Let's go back to our topic. Okay, so no last time, sino yung mga nakapanood ng video ko dito about dito sa ano natin, sa last live natin 2 days ago? Yeah, sino? Sino nakapanood? Sino nakapanood sa inyo dito? Mag-type kayo number 3 kung napanood nyo or awesome. Yung big shoutouts kay Papa She, pati kay Dennis, pati kay Jason. Burning and yield. Buti na lang nasa US tayo guys, no? Maraming sasabihin no, bawal na daw mag-crypto talk sa ano sa Philippines. Paurong talaga kayo diyan. So hindi ko alam. Grabe SEC nyo dyan. Napaka-centralized. I think they are trying to boost the peso. Kung hindi nyo napapansin yan guys, peso is dominating the whole Asia right now. Especially they're taking advantage of their recent bullish bullish bond news na lumalaki at lumulobo daw yung yung potential ng Philippines in conquering most of the industries in the pero online sugar, oo nga, yung online bawal banggitin yan dito guys. Okay, wag yung babanggitin yan kasi nasa soft ban tayo. Yan. Buti na lang sugar talaga yung nilagay mo eh. Ganun pa rin. Oo nga, actually, paurong kayo dyan. Yun nga yung sinasabi ko. Yun din yung pinopertain ko yung sa sugal. Okay, ay, nabanggit ko tuloy. Sana hindi ba-track. Anyways. Okay. So, tulad yung sinabi ko. Okay, so let me explain you guys. Okay, this one. So, ewan ko kung ilan sa inyo ang mga nakapanood. Okay, gusto ko lang sabihin sa inyo or ibalik kayo dun sa nangyayari. Okay, so dito sa news na to, if Senate passes the bill, okay, it will move to the House of Representative. Okay, which it has its own competing bill. Okay, called Stable Act. Okay, so binanggit din natin to 3 months ago. Nag-talk about tayo sa Stable Act and nagyayabang ako sa inyo na tama ako kasi stablecoin nga yung narrative, etc. Ako naalala nyo yun. So both chambers must reconcile, okay, their different approaches before any law is enacted. Okay, so nag-uuntugan tong dalawang to, but we really have to be careful on this one because the other one is both sides is like this is the art of deception. Both of them, okay, both the this bill and of course the Stable Act will pave way to the golden age na tinatawag. Pero in order for us to really convince masses that we are going to enter a golden age, okay, hindi natin pwedeng i-capitulate yung buong market. Meron tayong 36 viewers, wala kayong likes man lang. Please pakitad-tad yung heart react or i-double tap niyo yung video natin. Okay, so ito na nga yung sinasabi ko. Okay, either sa dalawang to mapasa, isa lang pa rin yung gagawin. Okay, the other one is like a little bit harsh and like a little bit more communistic approach. Yung isa is more of like pseudo democratic approach, pero in the end it will be for the elites kumbaga. So ito na. Natin to, hihimayin ko to sa inyo. So the Genius Acts, okay, or act pala, not acts. Okay, itong act na to, okay, ang aim niya is to create a comprehensive regulatory framework for stablecoins. Okay, so kumbaga nire-require lang naman nito is yung ang required nito is to fully back, okay, or 1:1 backing na US dollars or high quality liquidity or liquid assets such as treasury na maging 1:1, 'di ba? So sabihin natin, okay, USDT, kunyari lang to, USDT dapat 'yon $1 din 'yon. 'Di ba? Parang ganon. So therefore, ibig sabihin kung bakit may claim sila sa ganito is because since ang sinasabi ni STT is kada print daw ni Fed is nagpiprint din daw sila. Parang ganun yung system nila dyan. So ngayon, ito na. So ang mandates nito is to pagtibayin, okay, yung regular audits for any issuers, okay, with over $50 billion in stablecoins in circulation. Okay, so medyo medyo may hirapan tayo intindihin to. Okay. So, dito pumapasok yung topic sa AML pati KYC. Okay, so yung isa doon, aggressive KYC. Ito, in talks pa lang kung paano hihingi ng KYC or AML yung magiging act na to. Okay, doon sa isa is auto-track ka na agad. So, kumbaga, USDC auto-track kasi nasa ano niya, technology niya yan eh. Okay, so ito, okay, this imposes AML and KYC and transparency requirements on issuers. Okay, similar doon sa traditional banks natin. Okay, ito, replica talaga na to ng banks. So, malaki yung chances na to na ito ang mas ma-approve kesa doon sa yung isang natin pinag-uusapan kanina. So, ano ibig sabihin yan? Okay? So, this will allow both banks and non-banks na makapag-issue ng stablecoins under the strict conditions. Ito lang yung medyo pangit dito, guys. Hindi pa rin natin kita kung kailan sila mag-i-issue at kailan sila mag-print at kailan pa sila mag-mint ng marami pang stablecoins. Hindi ko alam paano. Okay. Pero, tulad nga sinabi ko, ito yung major impact nito for stablecoins issuers. Okay. Sabihin natin, Tether, Circle, diba? Yan yung mga ano eh. Okay, sabihin natin si Tron, 'di ba? Sabihin natin, kunyari lang. Okay. So, etong mga to, yung malalakas mag-issue or mag-mint ng mga stablecoins, lalo na si Tether. Okay. Itong they have to really comply with the new US regulations. Okay? If hindi, malaki yung implications. Okay? Which could also be one of those capitulating events in the Bitcoin history or cryptocurrency history. Okay? Ini-include din nito yung oversight for non-US foreign non-stable coins active sa US market. Okay, kahit nasa isang lupalop ka ng pero basta gumagamit ka ng USD, parang ganun yung sinasabi ni US dito sa regulations na to, is dali ka pa din. Okay, kailangan mo mag-perform. Ito na yung medyo parang napapaisip ka na, parang nasa New World Order tayo, parang nagiging one nation na tayo, one government. Kasi, pag ginamit mo si USD sa kahit anong bansa, kahit anong luluhod ka sa regulation. Kahit magtago ka sa Madagascar, luluhod ka, mapapaluhod ka. Parang ganun yung sasabihin nila dito. Or sabihin natin na this is like a omnipotence na tinatawag. Or hindi, omniscient, yung pagkita kanya sa omnipresence. Okay, so this is more of like a omnipresence. Kung kita ka niya kahit nasan ka, kita niya yung nangyayari sa'yo, kita niya kung saan ang ginagawa mo. So this is one of those few steps na panggagaya sa power ni Yahweh. Sabihin natin, this is omnipresence, okay? Kahit anong gawin mo, okay? Diba? Kahit anong bilhin mo, makikita ka, nakikita nila. Parang ganun. Ito yung gustong gawin ng USDC mainly at nung previous bill na pinresent, which is medyo mahina pero sobrang obvious nung gusto nilang gawin. Ito, hindi masyadong obvious pero critical to. Okay? This will be critical lalo na pag napunta yung approval sa maling kamay. Sabihin natin, hindi na si Trump. Ayaw nyo si Trump. Sabihin natin, the goods for you. Okay? Kasi tingin mo si Trump, gagamitin niya for elites. Okay, goods. Paano kayo sumunod? Democratic. So, for sure, they will use that to take advantage na ikulong yung power sa government control only. Nasabihin natin, ni ultimo pagbili mo ng Bitcoin is dadaan pa siya sa iba't ibang rehypo para lang mabili mo talaga yung totoong Bitcoin. Nagigets mo? Pwede tayong makaabot sa ganung situation where, okay, bili ka muna ng CBBTC. Okay? Tapos dapat meron kang ganitong stablecoin. Okay, tapos i-combine nila yon, susunugin nila, tapos tsaka mo ma-acquire yung Bitcoin. Pwede mangyari yun, Okay, pwede mangyari yun. Pero hindi ko sinasabi yun yung situation. It's just one of those few scenario na nakikita ko sa utak ko pag iniisip ko how we will be able to acquire Bitcoin, and Bitcoin will be harder to acquire, especially if you're not in the US, sabihin natin, in the future, kasi we are hoarding Bitcoin already as much as possible, even though you're seeing na okay, MicroStrategy is buying Bitcoin. Hindi ibig sabihin no si MicroStrategy ay hindi tiga US. Sabihin natin Tesla, Starlink, sabihin natin, or even X, sabihin natin, they're acquiring Bitcoin. Why major companies in the United States, like, they are acquiring a lot of Bitcoin, 'di ba? Versus sa China na sabihin niya, hindi, government lang nag-acquire ng Bitcoin dito, etc. blah blah blah. 'Di ba? So, this is very important, okay? This is a very key factor sa mga magiging next place ng cryptocurrency. Okay, which it will be super hard for Bitcoin to be acquired or even to be manipulated already by retail. Sabihin natin by retail, ha? Ibig sabihin kung manipulated by retail is pag yung emotion ng buong retail is gusto nilang i-dump tapos sobrang lakas, hindi na kayang i-sustain ng mga elite, sabihin natin, or hindi kaya i-sustain ng mga whales or ng mga, sabihin natin, bankers na nasa cryptocurrency, okay, wala silang magagawa. Okay, hindi nila siya kumbaga mapipigilan yan pag talagang naging emotional. And we've seen this back in 2020, we've seen this back in 2008 in different markets. This is not just like sabihin natin perspective lang ng cryptocurrency. Okay, pag nagpanic yung buong retail, sabihin natin, or nagpanic yung buong retail, hindi kayang i-manipulate ng yun. Ito yung sinasabi ko na sana magkaisa yung mga middle class at lower class. Pag nangyari yun, sobra pa rin yung pera natin versus sa mga elitista. Okay, naiisa lang yung utak nila versus sa atin na marami yung utak natin. Tapos pwede natin pag-isahin siya, yung lahat ng meron tayo, to really create our own kind of treasury, sabihin natin. Or sabihin natin, i-backed up natin yung sarili nating mga hawak, kumbaga. So, medyo mahirap intindihin kasi sobrang laki din itong document na to. Hindi ko nga ginawa ng document kasi alam ko wala rin naman magbabasa. Okay, umabot ata ako ng ilang pages yon, 42 pages bago ko tinigilan. Sumakit yung kaliwang mata ko. Kasi nababanlag na ako kakabasa sa mga ganitong kaliliit na fonts sa kada may update, no? So lahat to nasa Twitter to, guys, pero yun nga, tulad ng sinabi ko sa inyo, walang gustong magbasa, walang gustong nito. Walang gustong mag-dissect nito. Okay, walang gustong pumatol ng mga ganito. So, ayan, big shoutouts kay Sir Mac. Okay. Ayan, bago pala daw siya. And we are glad that you are here as well. Okay. And big shoutouts kay Kaida, kay Dom Crip, big shoutouts kay Jason, kay Joseph, big shoutouts kay Elonson 8. Okay. So, eto na yung sinasabi ko sa inyo, ha. Himahin lang natin to, ha. Kasi medyo, alam ko medyo naboboard kayo sa mga ganitong topics, pero just to like really give you a more in-depth of how I understand this might not be right. This is just chismis, okay? This is my haka-haka. Okay? So, the Genius Act, okay, is projected, okay, to supercharge the US stablecoins. Nothing else. Okay? Wala na siyang ibang pakay kundi yun. Okay? Gusto niya i-supercharge yung ating stablecoins growth, okay, and solidify niya yung ating dollar dominance in global crypto. Okay, kaya nakikipag-unahan na to. Okay? Ewan ko napapansin nyo, ha? Hindi ko alam. Isipin nyo maigi. Isipin nyo lang maigi, guys. Okay? Walang halong esoterical or or overreact, or sabihin natin nagmamala prophecy tayo dito. Pero this is very obvious kasi. Okay, open your mind, have humility, okay, focus, meditate, and try to read the document with an empty mind. Absorb it first. Okay, tsaka nyo bigyan ng verdict. Okay, kung anong kasi ako din matigas ulo ko, hindi ko siya maintindihan ng simula. Okay, and I really think it will not work, but there's a lot of potential that this might be pushed. Okay, for the reason is because of globalism or global market structure, or the CBDC. Okay, so this is the CBDC 2.0, how I see it. Okay, hindi na tayo basta HBAR, Quant, or XRP or XLM. Hindi na ganun. We're looking at something that we can share, you and I, whatever you are. Like, ano man gender mo, kung marami kang gender o wala ka sa buhay mo, diba? O kung ako, lalaki ako, ikaw, ano ka, identified as a dog, walang paki yung stablecoin. You use this as a payment. That's it. Ganun siya. Thank you so much kay Damon. Okay. Yan, big shoutouts from Winnipeg daw. Canada pa yan. Oh, so, yun nga. Tulad sinabi ko, this one is gonna supercharge the US dollar. Okay. The current USDT or the USD pala, stablecoin market is around 252 billion. Hindi naman kalakihan. Okay, hindi kalakihan. Ito na nga yung point hindi siya kalakihan. Pero kung sabihin natin nakapag-stake ka ng maraming stablecoin na gagamitin ng USD, okay, or sabihin natin XRPL, marami kang ng XRPL. Staking ng XRPL. Tapos biglang bumulwak yung market cap. Ewan ko na lang anong mangyayari. Kung anong reward na makuha mo doon. Okay. So, US Treasury projects, yung ating global stablecoin market, okay, pwede siyang umabot ng 2 trillion by 2028. Pero I highly doubt that 2028 is gonna be a bullish year for cryptocurrency. Kung maaalala nyo, I also discussed Banner chart, no? Ewan ko kung nagfo-focus pa ba kayo sa mga lives ko dati. Kasi ang naaalala ko, 5 or 10 lang kaming nag-uusap-usap nun dito sa live. Kung ano yung Banner chart. Okay, hinimay ko sa inyo ano yung Banner chart. Pinakita ko sa inyo yung Banner chart and why Banner chart is a little bit accurate and only missed 2 major capitulation ng buong 1900s to 2020. Okay, 2 beses lang siya nag-missed out. And yung isa is barely missed out pa. Kumbaga, na-delay lang siya pero nangyari pa rin. So tulad na sinabi ko, yung US Treasury natin is parang ang sinasabi niya is kung mangyari at ma-approve to, 2 trillion by 2028. Okay? Kasi magta-transfer na nga sila from bonds to crypto. Okay, the question is, ano yun? Ano pa? Anong papasukin nila? So, kung maliban sa stablecoin, ano pa yun? Okay, diba? So, nearly a 10x increase. Okay? Like 9.2x probably. Okay? Driven by regulatory clarity and growing demand for digital dollar. Okay? Ewan ko ano yung magiging additional nila for that one. Para masabi na, hindi, maganda to. Sige, hold kayo neto. So, yeah. Working na po ba yung T-bill? Working na po ba yung T-bill? Ito ba yung treasury bill ba to? O ano ba to? Diba T-bills? Treasury bill? Tapos pwede kang ang alam ko ito pa rin yung luma yung the usual na hindi alam ng mga marami na pwede kang bumili ng T-bills ng sarili mo tapos pwede kang maakuha nung kinukuha ng bangko. Kung sabihin natin 8% yung nakukuha nilang yield is kaya mo rin kunin yun. Pero meron siyang minimum amount of dollars para makabili ka ng T-bills. Parang ganun. So, yun na. Why do you need to know this? Okay? Ito lang topic natin for today, guys. Wala na ako iba itatopic sa inyo. Maliban sa charting natin pati ito. Okay. This is all about stability and trust. Okay? And we are going through that narrative. Okay? We are trying to navigate or see what will be the next narrative after this trust na sinasabi natin, di ba? Or safety, kasi di ba nandun tayo sa COVID-19 era natin. Para safe ka, dyan ka lang sa bahay, safe ka dapat, parang ganon. Huwag ka nang lumabas, kami na bahala, parang ganon. Nandun tayo sa situation na yun dati. Okay. So, regulatory clarity can increase, the trust and legal, certainty for stablecoin users, and institutions na medyo kinakabahan pa rin sa pagpasok sa Web3, or cryptocurrency mainly, or the new finance na tinatawag. This could also reduce the systemic financial risk na laging na-occur ng isang investor, or sabihin natin transition, sabihin natin banking, si Wells Fargo gusto lumipat ng crypto, merong scrutiny, 'di ba? Pero pag nandito ka sa ilalim ng umbrella nitong ating nitong bagong bill na to na pinapasa, okay, you'll be able to get away from it or you'll be protected against from it. Parang ganyan sinasabi nila na nagpi-plague sa previous algorithmic stablecoin failures na sinasabi. Okay, which is very evident to most of the protocols. Okay, yan kasi ayaw ng mga nasa institution pati yung mga enterprises is yung nahahack or nabubrute force or nahahanapan ng weakness sa system. Okay, pero ito yung pinaka biggest reason, okay, is yung ating industry innovation by allowing both banks and fintechs to compete. Fintech is a big market cap industry. Okay, hindi siya masyadong pinag-uusapan. Okay, kaya siya dinidikit sa banking. Okay, fintech is going to be the next banking. Okay, and XRP is a fintech. Okay, kung iisipin niyo maigi, hindi siya basta cryptocurrency. Okay, financial tech po siya. Okay, kaya hindi siya maintindihan ng mga skeptics. Okay, bakit ang XRP could potentially go to $9 and also end up going to $28 if in case. Okay, if in case something, okay, massive comes in from bonds or T-bills or whatever kind of market enters to XRPL. And once XRPL was able to, sabihin natin, will be able to convince, okay, the whole markets na talagang magpa-participate, okay, in transitions, okay, or tokenization, okay, XRPL will be always there to really bridge this kind of problem. Okay, the question is, does this impact the crypto market and sentiment? Okay, so positive, may broad positive but complex market reaction tayong nakikita. Okay, so kung hindi nyo napapansin, okay, so 'di ba, market and institutional sentiment, okay, yan yung pinakamagandang or yung general positive na gusto natin tignan eh. Lagi nyo naiisip na, meron na institutional or banking, ayan, bubulwak na. Okay, lagi nyo iniisip na gano'n eh. Pero hindi natin alam, matagal na sila sa loob. Waiting lang sila na i-push to ng news. Okay, katulad sa art. Okay, kung hindi nyo naiintindihan yung art, kung bakit siya nagiging Okay, so sabihin natin, nagpainting si Babensky. Okay, or sabihin na lang ako na lang si Oso Bear, may painting. Okay, tapos kunyari sabihin ko, hindi, ang kwento kasi niyan, yung lolo ko dinaan pa niya sa gera. Okay, itinago niya to nung kino-confiscate ng mga Marcoses. Kunyari lang to After World War II, gusto to ng Marcoses kasi magandang relic talaga to ng sikat na painter, etc. Tinago pa yan ng lolo ko, tinakbo niya to palabas ng Pilipinas hanggang sa naipasok niya ulit sa Pilipinas, etc. etc. Tapos yun, biglang boom. That's why it is more valuable. So ganun din, okay, ganun din yung sentiment naman natin sa mga crypto assets or yung Bitcoin, sabihin natin. Okay, dito nga lang is with the help of the media, or traditional media, social media, or even market influencers, sabihin natin, or content creators na talagang kilala. Sabihin natin, Coin Bureau. Sabihin natin, they talk about, the market and institutional, sabihin natin like BlackRock, Fidelity is now getting into Bitcoin. We don't know that. Okay, yun yung sinasabi ng news. Pero hindi natin alam kung ano ba talagang ginawa nila. Do you really think yung pinag-uusapan nila sa circle table, ipapaalam nila sa inyo there and there? Pagkalabas nila dun sa circle table, sasabihin nila na bibili kami Bitcoin bukas. What do you think would happen if that is the case? Diba? Hindi ganun. Okay? So, may apat tayong tinitingnan dito is yung talagang positive for institutional sentiment para ma-decipher nyo kung positive ba yung sentiment, okay, ng institutional or sabihin natin market or market institutional driven sentiment. One is pag isa sa mga major banking or major ETF, Bitcoin ETFs, magsabi na, oh, the regulatory clarity is clear. Parang ganon, sabihin natin. We love this, sabihin nila biglang, oy, anong ganda na itong bill na to. More likely ma-approve to. Pag mga ganun and stuff, okay, patulan niyo yung mga ganong news. Balitaan niyo rin ako kasi hindi ko agad yan makikita. So, next is sabihin nila na makita nila na yung bill is going to be widely seen as bullish for large US-backed or US unregistered stablecoin issuers. Okay, ito yung tinatawag na banking the unbanked. Kumbaga, tapos sabihin natin yung isang banker or sabihin natin retired banker, bayaran para magsalita sa CNN. Sabihin nila, what do you think about this? Ganyan. Tapos sabihin niya, it's gonna be banking the unbanked. Ginagaya niya yung salita nila, nila Satoshi, pati yung mga founders ng ay yung mga tumulong i-build yung Bitcoin. Sabihin natin. Okay, ganun yung mangyari. Okay, so next is yung large bank and payment firms. Okay, katulad ng JP Morgan and Chase, Visa, PayPal. PayPal ba? Hindi pala. Sorry, mali. Bank of America, sabihin natin. Yan, yung mga yan. Pag narinig nyo na they are preparing for wider adoption, sabihin nila, may news na sabihin natin sa coin market cap news, sabihin natin. Front head nila is, bankers like JP Morgan, Visa, Bank of America is already preparing for wide adoption once the rules are finalized. Pag gano'n ang news, patulan nyo agad. Okay, patulan nyo agad yun. Kasi pa lang yan, painit pa lang yan. Pero pag sinabing nakapasok na sila, okay, yan, medyo mabalisa na kayo. Kasi yan sell the news, potentially sell the news yan unless meron silang up the sleeve na talagang plano in order to make you miss out the bull run. Tapos mag-crazy get in ka pag malapit na talagang mag-top yung market. So, paano mo ba talaga yun? Is you invest time in the market in order for you to really time the market. Okay. So, ito na. Pag nagsalita pa yung mga critics, sabihin natin, sino ba yung mga critics na? Sabihin natin sila, Michael Saylor, yan. Diba? Sabihin nila na that law could entrench big yung mga malalaking problems, sabihin natin, and sabihin natin magiging tinik, okay, sa mga opportunities for smaller offshore firms, sabihin natin. Okay, pag etong mga influencers na to, or sabihin na lang natin hindi influencers, ang hirap kasi sabihin, critics na lang, critics ng Bitcoin, sabihin natin ganun. Okay, i-reverse natin sila, reverse trade natin sila, sabihin nila bearish sila, sabihin nila, parang hindi maganda. Parang ganun. Sabihin natin si Jim Cramer, sabihin niya, mukhang maganda to. Mukhang magiging maganda to. Baka tanggapin ko na si Bitcoin, sabihin niya ganun. I-short nyo. Pero pag sinabi niya, hindi yan hindi yan magiging maganda sa crypto. Ito yung pinakamaling gagawin ng US Senate. Ito yung pinakamaling gagawin ng House of Representative. Pag ganun yung sinabi ng critic na yon, is maganda yon. Okay, instead of hindi. Kasi they are trying to tempt check kung may ibababa pa ba pag ganun yung nagiging situation. And these people are being used for the boomers. Okay, mas malaki ang pera ng boomers compared sa millennial at ng mga pinag-combine na millennial and of course ng Gen Z na nagtatrabaho na ngayon, sabihin natin. Okay? So, ano yung potential impact nito sa US Tether? Okay, sa USDT lang ha guys. Okay, medyo matatapos na tayo. So, the sector dominant stablecoin, the USDT, is likely to going to be the more stablecoin na magbe-benefit overall. Okay? Kasi atong Genius Act natin does not prohibit the Tether. Yung isa, pinoprohibit niya. Okay, subliminally kasi supported siya sa USDC. Okay? Mas magbe-benefit siya sa USDC. Ito, hindi. This is for everyone. Pero, since USDT ang may pinakamaraming holdings ng USD, okay, at backed up na di USD, edi si Tether ang mas magiging dito. Okay, as long as, okay, they comply with US Reserve, number 1. Number 2 is disclosures. Number 3 is AML standards. Okay, ito yung pag pinag-uusapan natin, kailan kayo mag-mint ng USDT, kailan kayo mag-print ng USDT pa. Okay, something like that. So, Tether is very open to launching a fully US compliant stablecoin separate from from its offshore USDT products. Okay, and this will ensure, sabihin natin, okay, to a continued access to American markets. Okay, so lately na bumabait si USDT. Siguro tatakot siya. Nag-file din siya sa MiCA. Diba? So, Tether's vast US treasury holdings natin na $120 to $150 billion disclosed stand to increase as stablecoin regulation foster a demand for compliant reserves. Okay? So, easy lang intindihin yun, guys. Napaka-easy lang intindihin. Okay? Ibig sabihin, etong paunang wave nila daw to na, hindi, nagka-complain na kami. Okay? Hindi na kami basta magpiprint dito dahil lang tingin namin or haka-haka namin nagprint na naman si Fed, sabihin natin, ganun. Or nag-push si banking or si bankers na, Fed, magprint ka pa nga para sa amin, etc. Doon, nakikichismis lang si USDT. O magkano kaya yung na-print nila? Sige nga, lagay natin 80 billion. Pwede yun. Ganun na nangyayari. Okay? Pag tingin nila, 80 billion yung pinanint ni Fed nung last time. Diba? Wait lang guys tumatawag yung asawa ko. Okay. Ito na nga yung sinasabi ko sa inyo guys. How should we interpret this before we end this live? Okay. For XRP, for ETH, for the major alts natin. So, ito nga, alam ko gusto niyo, 'di ba? Gusto ko din naman na mag-up talaga to si XRP. Okay. Ako din naman nakikita naman yan sa chart. Wala nga akong going down Okay. So, if we go down, probably we go here. Okay. Above $2 or above $1 lang. Hindi na to babagsak sa below $1. Okay, kung bumagsak man to is because we are receiving a lot of hit from Bitcoin negative news or sabihin natin bearish overall sentiment for the whole cryptocurrency. Mainly probably is the last wave for regulation. Then before we can say, okay, cryptocurrency is now fully regulated, and it might be too late already for cryptocurrency investors na bago pa lang, napapasok pa lang sa crypto. Okay, so number 1, sabihin natin, if you hold or use cryptocurrency stablecoins, okay, US regulation is likely to reduce risk and increase credibility. Okay, and this will create more options and protections. Okay, ito na yung magiging new version ng bank mo. Okay, na hindi ka na dapat matakot sa sa crypto. Okay, kasi this on this one is baka taasan nila yung magiging yield percentage mo imbis na sa Amazon, sabihin natin 3% lang yung nakukuha mo sa Amazon Chase, yung mga nandito sa US. Okay? Pero pag naka-Amazon Prime ka, 5%. Kaya din nila yan gawin sa crypto. Okay? Pag ginawa mo siya sa crypto and you try to stick your stable holdings, di mo naman ginagalaw, no? Okay? Dito na mapapauso yung stake, buy now, don't pay at all. Okay? Ako ko may gano'n na ata. Parang tingin ko may gano'n na. Imposible naman. Kasi naisip ko na siya ngayon. O di baka meron na talaga niyan. Okay, na buy now, don't pay at all. Or do not pay. Or pay never. Ano, or pay never. So something like that. Hindi mo na magbabayad. Bakit? It's because of your stable na tinatawag, or the stable rewards, or yung tinatawag na nakukuha mo from staking, or staking your stable coin, something like that. So number 2, big shoutouts kay Ramil pati kay Damon, big shoutouts sa inyo. Okay, so for investors, sabihin natin, investor ka, okay? Pag meron kang regulated US stable coins, dito sa sector, kumbaga, yung stable coin mo na-regulate, okay? At pasok dito sa sector na pinag-uusapan natin, okay? Itong sector na to is expected to attract more capital inflows. Sabihin natin USDT, okay? Kasi yun nga yung magiging most beneficial, okay? Hindi XRPL, okay? Hate to say. Okay, kasi wala pa tayo doon, malayo pa. So, big shoutouts kay Master Gray yan, okay? So, sorry, malamig dito guys, hinihingal ako. Ano ba sabihin? Okay, nasa na ba ako? So, ayan, this will attract more capital inflows nga. Tapos, expand niya yung DeFi. Okay, tapos magkakaroon tayo ng drive innovation sa pagto-tokenize ng real-world assets. Doon pa lang papasok talaga yung totoong real-world assets na mga assets na tingin nyo magpapump or hindi magpapump. Okay? Doon pa lang. Okay. The number 2 is yung sentiment snapshots natin. Okay? Which is yung kanina mga binagpabanggit ko, social and industry sentiment. Yan. Which, kumbaga, maraming, di ba, negative nga sa iba't ibang stable coins lately. Okay, pero pag na-regulate siya, okay, ito lang yung isang asset na talagang, asset class sa loob ng cryptocurrency, which is stable coins, yung talaga magbe-benefit sa regulation. Hindi siya maganda sa mga memes, hindi siya maganda sa L2, sa L1s, okay, lalo na sa mga, sabihin natin, sa mga main assets like Ethereum, XRP, ADA Cardano, or BTC. Why? Is because, diba, this is just like newly introduced. Okay, paano siya magiging magiging maganda? Okay, paano siya magiging maganda lang? Later on pa yun. Okay, later on pa siya. Okay, if once, okay, sabihin natin, katulad niya ni BTC, okay, may ETFs na siya. So, ibig sabihin, okay, it's regulated in an extent. Okay, hindi siya fully regulated pero in an extent. Okay. So ano ba sabihin? Yun isa pa, yung kanina sinabi ko sa inyo kanina, for the industry. Mainly this is for industry, guys. Okay. So kasi maraming institution or banking na hindi makapag-switch, no, from Web 2 to Web 3. Okay, this Genius Act will help that be resolved, kumbaga. So, US is positioning itself to set a global standard na tinatawag na US first ni Donald Trump. And I really think this Genius is crafted for that cause, which is to make sure that the US is going to be the ruler or magiging first, okay, sa mga ganitong moves. So, like I said, okay, worst case scenario, we go back to 90 or even 89K to really scare everyone. Okay, kasi dito tayo nag-cross eh. Ito lang naman hinahanap natin dyan kung ba't ko nilalagay siya doon. Okay? Or at least dito. Yan. So, yan. Anything na nandyan sa loob ng box na to. Okay. Pag dumapo tayo dyan, malaki yung chances natin na yun yung bottom. Babalikan natin to one time. One day, babalikan natin to. Yan, big shoutouts kay Mr. Tagud. Ayan. So, bottom line, guys. Okay, just to end this one. Okay, Genius Act will represent the most significant US stablecoin regulation to date. Okay. Diba? But it will be not really good on June 17, and that's my prediction, guys. It's not gonna be really good for June 17. Okay, in terms of long term, hindi long term, midterm. Okay, short term, baka umangat siya konti ulit. Sabihin natin, kaya nga may white line tayo dito. Baka ito yung sundin niya. Kung maging goods yung June 17 natin, bigyan kayo ng isa pang week para makaalis kayo. Pwede yun mangyari. So sabihin natin, biglang sell the news. Biglang boom, bag. Hindi maganda yung naging outcome. Okay, ng June 17. Okay, then, therefore, baka bumagsak na agad tayo. Okay, so yun yung prediction ko, which is it's either we go down now or orange, or we give another chance na makaangat ulit. Okay, so ano yung percentage mo dyan, Sir Oso, kasi dyan ka magaling. Okay, sabihin natin, pagpalagay natin, mas more likely mangyari yung white line natin. Okay, kasi this is deceiving, more like deceiving and institutional. Sabihin natin, pagpalagay natin 2017 or 2021 pa lang to. Okay, and then probably itong orange. Okay, kung ganun tayo kabilis gumalaw. Since this is institutionally built pump, kaya hindi nyo mapredict kung ito na ba talaga yung top, ito na ba talaga yung bottom, o tapos na yung 4-year cycle. Yes, so probably this is institutionally built pump, then baka maging slow din yung magiging dump natin. Okay, leading us to go back here. Okay, which is 93, or even worst case scenario like here. Okay, which is just to like draw a trend line dito. Okay, pwede yan mangyari, guys. Okay, so yun lang, guys. Wala na akong masyadong sasabihin sa inyo. Nagpipigil ako ng sasabihin kasi document to sa Meraki. Ay ako mag-reveal masyado. Kung gusto niyo sumali sa Meraki, guys, nandiyan sa may description down below. Pag kinlik niyo lang yung video natin or yung live natin, makikita niyo siya. Okay, wait lang, off natin yung music. Okay, makikita niyo siya dito. Ayan. So, ayan. May Meraki dito. Ayan, Meraki Project. Yan, click nyo lang. Kung interested kayo, free lang yung Discord. Pwede kayo sumali. Hanggang sa mapag-decide nyo na sumali talaga ng fully, then feel free to do so. So, yun lang, guys. Wala na akong sasabihin iba. Please, big shoutout sa mga nandito, guys. Ayan. Ayan, ito yung mga nagko-comment dito. Okay. So, pag may mga question kayo next time, babalikan natin to live para sagutin natin ng live din. And thank you so much again, guys. And please, guys, chismis lang ang lahat ng yon. Kailangan nyo pa rin aralin, planuhin at kilusan ng sa gayon. Ang lahat ng to ay ating makamtan. At syempre, stay awesome. Goodbye, guys. Thank you so much and safe trading sa lahat. Happy weekend and God be the glory, guys. And big shoutout sa asawa ko. Yun. Thank you so much. Uy, nag-ano na yung ano natin. Yan. Also, bear nga pala, chismoso ng crypto since 2017 bull run and have been documenting my journey since 2021 at may bagong mission na gawing 100k ang 10k